Hello family, welcome and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing great. In today's video I'm going to share with you how to make a healthy cozy pot of cabbage soup. Let's get straight to the video. I'm just going to start the video by preparing my vegetables. I have that piece of cabbage right there. I'm just going to go ahead and chop my cabbage enough. There are two ways you can use to prepare your cabbage for your soup. The first way that I'm doing right now, I'm just thinly chopping my cabbage as shown in the video, and like you can see, I'm using my tiny knife right there to chop my cabbage, and then I'm just going to add them to my bowl right there. And for the second way, you can use a grater. So for the second piece of cabbage, I'm just going to use the coarse part of my grater right there to grate my cabbage as shown in the video. The shredded cabbage is going to be much finer than the chopped cabbage, and like you can see, it's looking so good. I'm then just going to go ahead and add it to my bowl again. Moving on, I'm now going to be washing my cabbage again. I added my water to my basin right there, and then all I'm going to do is to just wash my cabbage, and then I'm going to squeeze it to remove the extra water from it. When you get to that point that you cannot collect the vegetables with your hand, you can just use a sieve to collect the vegetables that are remaining, so you don't waste any of your vegetables. It's actually a cool hack. I'm also going to be washing my carrots right there, my two medium-sized carrots, and then I'm just going to set them aside, and then I'm going to move on and peel my carrots as shown in the video. I also set my vegetables aside, my cabbage aside, I'm sorry about that, after rewashing it. And then I'm now just going to grab my grater and grate my carrots. And for my carrots, I'm using the fine part of my grater to grate or to shred my carrots. And the reason why I'm using carrot in this recipe, it's going to be a replacement for tomatoes, since we are not going to be using tomatoes in this particular recipe. It's going to give our soup a very beautiful color. I also prepared some ginger. I peeled some ginger. Yeah, I hope you've seen that. I'm also going to be chopping some coriander, and then now I'm just going to add my ginger to my tool right there, and then all I'm going to do is to crush my ginger as shown in the video, and then I'll set it aside close to my other vegetables. Moving on, I'm now going to add a little bit of my oil to my pot right there, and then I'm going to add my ginger to it and just fry my ginger for a few minutes. So like I said in my previous videos, if you're struggling with acid reflux, ulcer or GERD, you need to watch the amount of oil you use in your food. I'm also going to go ahead and add my carrots right there, and then I'm going to mix that well and fry it for a few minutes. I'm then going to add my shredded / chopped cabbage right there as shown in the video, and then I'm also going to use my wooden spoon right there to mix that well. Many people from ordinary families struggle with acid reflux, ulcer and GERD. So I came up with a playlist in my channel where I share with you simple and easy recipes that can be made by any ordinary families. Check out the playlist so you can see the easy recipes that you can make. And I hope from the bottom of my heart that it helps in one way or another. I'm now going to add a cup of water to my cabbage, and then I'm just going to cover it and steam it until most of my water is drained, and that way my cabbage is going to be super soft. And like you can see right there, my cabbage is ready, and there's a little bit of water still remaining on it. I'm now just going to go ahead and mash my cabbage. This is how my cabbage looks. It's super soft. I'm just going to go ahead and use my wooden spoon right there to squeeze my cabbage to separate it from the soup that is remaining. And you're not going to throw away that soup. We are going to use it a few minutes from now. Yeah, I added my cabbage to my bowl right there, and then I'm just going to go ahead and mash my cabbage. And I also realized that this bowl that I'm using is a little small, so I'm going to transfer my cabbage to a bigger bowl so I can easily mash it without making a mess. Yeah. And you can use a blender to blend your cabbage. Just make sure that you don't make a mess everywhere around your kitchen since the cabbage is still hot. So since we are going to be making this cabbage soup the ordinary way, I'm just going to use that wooden masher right there to mash my cabbage. If you have a potato masher, you can use that again. I'm just going to take my time to mash my cabbage. So the reason why I'm mashing my cabbage, it's because we chopped some of the cabbage and it's now super soft since we steamed it and boiled it. So it's going to be very easy to mash it out, and this will make our soup extra thick. That's why I said you can blend your cabbage or mash it. And then moving on, I'm now just going to add my mashed cabbage back to my pot right there with my soup. And then I'm just going to add a cup of water right there. I'm also going to add half a cup of milk, and I'm also going to readjust my water. So like you can see, I didn't use any oil again, and I also didn't use onions. Onions are not recommended if you are struggling with acid reflux. So since you are making this healthy recipe, I'm not going to be using any onions or tomatoes. The carrots are going to be a replacement for the tomatoes, but for onions you are going to avoid that totally. I'm then just going to add my chopped coriander right there, and I'm also going to add a piece of coriander on a stalk that is not chopped. And then I'm just going to go ahead and cover my soup and cook it for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, my soup is ready. I'm just going to uncover it as shown in the video, and like you can see, my soup is looking so good, and this is how it looks. It's super thick and very good. So for the coriander with the stalk, we're just going to remove it. Yeah, I'm now just going to go ahead and start serving my soup. I'm just going to move close to the camera so you can see up close how this looks. This is how this soup looks. So I'm just going to be serving my soup right there. I'm going to add my soup to my bowls as shown in the video. And like you can see right there, our soup is looking good and it's super thick. And the color is just so beautiful. So I'm just going to serve this with some brown bread. And like you know, if you're struggling with acid reflux, it's not healthy to eat lots and lots of white bread. When you make a batch of soup that you cannot eat once, just add them to some of your storage containers, and then all you need to do is to freeze them. And like you can see, I added just a little bit of it to each storage container, so it's easy for you. After you freeze them, you can just pick one and you can just melt it and eat it when you feel like having it again. Yeah, I hope this video helps you in one way or another if you are struggling with acid reflux, ulcer, heartburn and GERD, and the things you need to avoid. Check out the playlist on my channel so you can see the other videos that I made. Thanks for watching, and kindly subscribe to my channel if you're new here. See you in my next video. Bye.